Listen up, it's going down. There's been an update. Right. Intel Alley, Tower Control Rainmaker. Oh, and there's a new... Yeah, it is October, so there's a new Salmon Run item. Cool. Cool, cool. Oh yeah, this is what I'm wearing. Alright, welcome back to Splatoon. I don't know what that is. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that spoiler that everybody's given away at this point. Obviously. I'm sure I'll deal with that eventually. Let's just hop into a regular game. So, yeah, oh my... So this week, I am not starting off on the best note. Or at least for today's show. So, tonight, I was like, you know, I've been doing some other things. And I was like, you know what, I can't be bothered to cook tonight. I'm gonna go get a burger from Macca's, right? Just plain and simple. Go get a burger, right? Just keep it simple. So, I went to Macca's. And I waited for not over an hour. It was literally an hour down to the minute. In the drive-thru, right? I waited for an hour. Oh my god. I am unbelievably annoyed. Because, right, I went through the drive-thru, and they gave me my drinks, and then they were like, oh yeah, just go pull up ahead. And I'm getting food for, like, multiple people, I should say. Right? It wasn't just me. And so I pulled ahead, and, right, they have, like, these, like, reserved spots for, like, people who are doing mobile orders, right, it's all COVID stuff, right? So I pull up ahead. I waited there for 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, they forgot about me. So I'm like, okay, they forgot about me clearly. Right, that's super annoying. But I was like, okay, whatever. Hey, Sprout, how you doing? I was just, like, annoyed. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back through the drive-thru and be like, hey, what the fuck is up here? I go back through and they're like, wait, you didn't get your food already? I then waited at the drive-thru for another 20 plus minutes. Because I'm counting, like, time when I, like, originally got there and waited. Because they kept me, like, at there before they told me to move up for a few minutes. So I am so annoyed. I am just so annoyed. Like, oh my god. So I was there for an hour. I was there... So yeah, that's already... So I'm already not starting off the night on a good note, per se. So yeah, that's annoying. I would have left. Yeah, admittedly I'm more patient than, yeah, some others, but I hit my limit, honestly. Oh, come on, really? Whatever. So yeah, but they did, and then, you know, the worst, and then, you know, the other thing, once they did finally get it to me after, right, however long, it was wrong. My order was wrong as well. So yeah, that also, it's been a long night. It's been a long night. But now we're here, you know, we're relaxing, we're playing some Splatoon, everything's gonna be A-okay. Sure, I had to deal with... And it was especially, like, the guy, when I came back around, the guy was like, but I never told you to move up. And I was like, yes, you... I'm annoyed. I'm so fucking annoyed. It's been a long night. Yeah, I was just... Ugh, God. But hey, we're playing Splatoon now. So yeah, that's been my night so far. And then there's all the other shit I've had to deal with, I've had to do today as well, on top of that. We'll do one more. I do want to do mostly Salmon Run tonight. Because, new month, there's new Salmon Run gear. And, it's the first special Salmon Run event. Is today. It kicked off a few hours ago, so I'm excited to do that as well. So that's the plan for tonight. But I'm going to do a few Turf Wars to just get us started for tonight. So I'm using the Squeezer. The Squeezer is supposedly one of the, like, best new weapons in the game. Which, you know, okay, whatever. You know, there's a lot of good weapons, and to be fair, like... Yeah, there's a lot of good weapons, and there are a lot of weapons people will say are bad. And, you know, it all depends on the user. But the best player I have met so far playing this game was using the Squeezer. So, like, just watching them play... And I was with them for, like, a dozen games. Right? I played both with them and against them. And just, like, watching them play, I was like, yeah, I want to try the Squeezer now. Because they were so good with the weapon. And I think it wasn't in, I think it was just in normal, Turf War, right? I don't think it was in, ranked modes. It might have been, but I don't think it was. Because I played both with and against them, so I think it was Turf Wars. Alright. Because, yeah, there are some people I've just played a bunch of games with, There was that Sploosher, there was the Squeezer. I played with, like, a Hydra Splatling for, like, a bunch of games in a row. Be cool if it... Yeah, the Squeezer, it's an interesting weapon, right? How its whole, like, its whole, like, trigger thing. It's an interesting mechanic. Definitely one I have to get used to. Because it's definitely different, but it's an interesting weapon, to say the least. This probably, honestly, isn't the best mode to do it in, but, you know, I don't want to do anything serious. I just kind of want to do something casual to start off the night with, before we actually get into, like, Salmon Run. What else have I been... But yeah, so today's just... It's been a long day. And I haven't played Splatoon in a few days, right? I've been so busy with other shit that I haven't even had time to play the past few days. So it's nice to actually sit... Because I want to play more of the story mode, man. I keep hearing everybody talk about how good the story mode is. And I haven't actually gotten to play it. I've only played it for like a few hours. So I definitely need to play more of it. But we only did it that one little bit on stream for, what, like 3 hours? I want to play more. I'm just so busy, and next week I'm busy, and... Oh my god, they got behind me. You clever bastard, you. You gotta remember, I'm not playing, I play so much Splat Zones. Oh, I did, however, in the game, I finally made it up to A rank. Finally, I had one night, I was using the, Dapple Duel, or the Dapple Dualies? Yeah, whatever the dualies we used during the Splatfest were. And so I was using those. And I was like, you know what, let's take this into Splat Zones. And I won, like, I think I won 4 games. I don't think I won all 5. But I won 4. And that was enough to get me a rank up. So I was like, oh, cool, I got a rank up, right? Now I have a chance to do a ranked battle. And in the ranked battle, I went, 2 wins, 2 losses, and then on the 5th match, I finally won, and I was able to get up to A rank. Oh, what's this gonna be? Oh, swim speed up. Okay. I guess people figured out how to get perfect 3-piece gear. So, like, if you want your gear to have all 3 stats, there is a way to do it that consistently works. I'm assuming it hasn't broken the newest patch, because it was only discovered, like, the day before the patch came out. I don't know. They might have broken it. I admittedly have not checked. But yeah, people figured out, like, hey, you could, if you take a brand new piece of gear, add a slot, and then you do these, like, certain things, and it involves, like, re-rolling and scrubbing slots and whatnot. It's a whole thing. But it does seem supposedly consistently work to get you a 3-slot piece of gear. I don't know, the video's in Spanish, so I have to watch it English subbed. But, like, I'm pretty sure it'll work. Like, it sounds like it. I haven't tested it or anything. But it seems interesting nevertheless. Let's do our free play of the day. Not free, but, you know, cheap. Mincemeat. So yeah, that's a thing that exists out there. I don't know. I like I said, I haven't really messed around with it. I don't know. From what I've been told by people, while 3-piece gear is nice, usually what you want is 2-piece gear. And then, you know, throw, like, a slot of, like, ink resist up, or a slot of special saver, or something like that into the 3rd slot. Maybe that's not, I'm sure that's not always true, but, yeah. Because, you know me, I'm, like, totally like, oh, do I want to recreate my super speed gear? I actually do have a gear order from the shop, I think. I have sea snails, you can boost your gear star power, you can re-roll. Yeah, I have this. We should actually check the shop. Real quick before we go in, we're going to check the shops. I haven't even checked them today. And I am level 20, so I only have 10 levels to go. I do think this gives me... level 20 gets me the Flingza Roller, though. Yeah, does it? Maybe it's 21. Yeah, no, 20 gets me the... Oh, the Hydra Splatling as well. I don't know if I'll like the Hydra Splatling. It's not really my style of weapon. But everybody loves the Flingza Roller, man. I got in a game of Splat Zones where the opposing team had 3 of these things. So, yeah, that was something that happened. So, I don't know. People didn't really like the Flingza Roller in Splatoon 2. So, I guess they did something to buff it in this game. I'm sure Tentamissiles is part of it, because Tentamissiles is still OP. Duh. Yeah. People really like this Hydra Splatling. Booyah Bomb seems pretty strong in this game from what I've seen. Blobler people hate. I guess people like the Clash Blaster now. It seems like people have turned around on that one. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I've only got a few levels left, so I'm getting up there. Let's see. Anything good here? Special, scale up. For some reason, I don't remember what gear, like, brand this is, but for some reason when I see the logo, I always call it Gwaine. Even though it looks more like a C. I don't know. For some reason, that's always what that reminds me of. What is... God, see, I never remember any of the gears, what they do. Raise the star powers, yeah. I might actually... that's all my money, though. I use up so much... You know, in Splatoon 2, you were just rolling with money. But now that you can, like, do these upgrades and whatnot, I definitely do feel like money is a rare... like, more of a commodity. Oh. Did A free spirit. Oh, I can get propane tanks and propane accessories. A surveyor tripod. God, that's expensive. Ooh, look at that sticker. That's a neat sticker. I like that it's shiny. Yeah, there's some expensive stuff then, right? Like, I'm still surprised by the salty sea snail. One day I saw a salty sea snail in the shop. And whether it's like just an actual straight up salty sea snail or one to put in your lockers, I don't know. Tension free bird. That's Shafrillis again. Oh my gosh. Bunny. Oh, these must have been some of the people I was playing with. Yeah. So for today, we're gonna hop into this place. So if we come out here, you'll see the supplied weapons are all question marks. So they're all... Wait, you can... ZL to demote self? What? I have no idea what that... I don't remember seeing that before. Let's see what our rewards are. So you got the low vibrisor. Okay. Salmon meter. Yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, we're going to jump into Salmon Run today because there's new gear. Now, as people have pointed out, last month's gear was like this weird like rainbow hat. This month, it's the low rise visor. They're both of these pieces of gear are Back to the Future 2 references. Because Marty McFly wears the hat, the rainbow hat in Back to the Future 2, and Doc Brown wears the visor in Back to the Future 2. They're both Back to the Future references. Which are very interesting, but like, okay, if that's how it's gonna go. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I like the gear being completely random. It's, you know, it's a fun event. Especially because you have that new bow and arrow. The special bow and arrow that is like the special Grizzco super bow and arrow. That'll be fun. So yeah, so I guess we should get into the news for tonight. So our first thing is, they revealed all of a sudden randomly on like, I don't know, like Tuesday or Wednesday, they just revealed a new Pokemon. Yeah, for no concernable reason. It was like one of those things where it's like, I think this was like a live stream in Japan or something. Because, like, I couldn't find it on YouTube originally. It was just one of those things where it's like, all of a sudden, hey, guess what? There's a new Pokemon. And yeah, so we got a new Pokemon named Wiglett. Now, this is not a new version of Diglett. That should be stated, right? This is not new Diglett. This is Wiglett. A completely different thing. Because, as it has been explained, Wiglett is a convergent species, whereas, right, like something like Alolan Diglett is a divergent species. So what does that mean? Well, convergent versus divergent. So divergent is like same species, is species that share a common ancestor, but aren't, right, and so that's how they're similar. I bet the easiest way is Darwin's finches. I know that's not a great example, but I'm going to use Darwin's finches. Right? Charles Darwin, when discovering the series of evolution, he noticed that birds on the Cayman Islands, right, they looked similar, but they had different beaks, right? So evolution favors those beaks. So right, they're divergent, because they're similar, they're related birds, but one had a beak that was good at, like, getting bugs. The other had a beak that was good for getting, like, cracking open nuts. Right? Convergent versus divergent. Well, so that's where the theory of evolution comes from. Also, Charles Darwin ate a lot of turtles, but that's more of just a fun fact. Because, yeah, Charles Darwin ate a lot of turtles. Convergent species, on the other hand, which is what these new Pokemon are, which is what Wiglett is species that don't have anything in common, but because of their environment, get common features, right? So, like, oh, right, it'd be like the finches example. It'd be like, oh, well, these two different birds that don't share a common ancestor for, like, millions of years, well, they both have beaks that are good at cracking open nuts, because, you know, there are plenty of nuts on this island. That's convergent. There's also something with crabs. I know crabs have, like, this whole convergent thing, but I could not for the life of me tell you what that is. I don't know. There's also that running joke about the peak evolution being crabs, but I couldn't even begin to explain how... I know that's relevant, but I couldn't even begin to explain how that's relevant. I just know it is. So yeah, that's convergent versus divergent. And so this new... it looks like Diglett, but that's just because where it lives looking like... Oh my god, we got Brella twice in a row? What the fudge? But yeah, that's because, right, being like Diglett is beneficial in this area of the game, so that's why both these Pokemon kind of look like Diglett, you know? And Diglett is also just straight up in this game. So in Paldea? It's Paldea, right? You'll be able to meet both Diglett and Wiglett. And yeah, this thing, you know, it's fine. It's cute, I guess. I don't know. It is the right, everyone immediately pegged it as the garden eel Pokemon. And yeah, I mean, it looks like a garden eel. That is correct. So yeah, right, it does look like a garden eel. If I had to compare it to... Honestly, when I first saw it, though, my first thought was it reminded me of a, tube worm. Specifically, the ones that live in the deep, dark ocean that feed on sulfur from sulfur vents. That's what it originally reminded me of. Those things. But no, it's based on garden eels. And you can tell it's based on garden eels because of the head. But it reminds me of tube worms. Because tube worms have, right, they're like white worms with like little red things sticking out of them. And because of how Wiglett's nose is like the one red bit. That's why it reminds me of, Oh, come on. We just barely failed. We just barely failed. Oh, what a mess. So I think Wiglett is cute. Right? It definitely... I get all the dick jokes. Right? But I like Diglett. And I like Doug Trio. Mainly because I used one in, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But I like Diglett and I like Doug Trio. So I like this new Wiglett. And whatever it evolves into, it's probably going to be something stupid like Wuglet. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all. It could be Wug Trio. Or Wig Trio. Wig Trio doesn't sound right. Wug Trio sounds better. Or it kind of reminds me of Wario in that sense. Right. But I do think, right, I'm actually fine with this Pokemon. I know... Convergent versus Divergent's kind of a dumb, right? Like, in theory, it's kind of dumb. Like, Convergent, Divergent, really? Like, you've already got these regional forms. You're really just going to make them more confusing. Especially because, according to leakers, right, the Pokemon games don't use the terms Convergent and Divergent. These new Pokemon are instead called RF Fakes. Right? Or, they're either called... I think it's RF Fake. That sounds right to my head. But they're called like RF Fakes or something like that. So they're not even Divergent, Convergent. They don't even use those names. So that makes things just a little bit more confusing. But you know, whatever. Oh my god. But yeah, I think it's fine. I guess there are leaks. I'm going to talk about leaks real quick. So if you don't want to know about leaks, then don't. But I'm going to talk about them for just a minute. So according to the leaks, there is one other RF fake in this game. Specifically, oh my god, I missed. Specifically, the other RF fake is, Tentacool and Tentacool. There supposedly is a new Pokemon in the game that looks like Tentacool, but it's a mushroom. Right? So it's a mushroom Pokemon that looks like Tentacool. Oh god. I should have ran away. I was trying to get the one last one. Okay, I'm gonna get away. Yeah, so yeah, supposedly there's a mushroom Pokemon that looks like Tentacruel in the new game. I don't know, and see, the nice thing is, like, I don't know what my team's gonna be for the new game. I think I'm gonna pick Weedcat. Right? I think Weedcat's a pretty safe pick on my team. But other than that, I actually don't really know. But if I'm picking Weedcat, that means I can't use any other grass types. So a Pokemon like Armarouge is right, that's a fire type. That'd be a pretty good pick. And Wiglett as well, right? This thing is a... This thing is a water type, so that would also be a pretty safe pick for the team. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about like, oh, maybe I might actually use this thing. I don't know. I haven't like solidified anything yet, but I'm definitely thinking about it for sure. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably end up using Armarouge. Because even though I think Ceruledge is cooler, I'm probably still gonna use one of them. God, I still hate Flyfish, man. I like, we just took care of that one Flyfish, and I already see the next one out there, right out back. God, I hate Flyfish so much. Oh my god, get up there. Oh my god, it freaking... I brought back the rest of the team. We're still screwed, though. But yeah, so I do fully expect us to get a new Pokemon trailer. Like, because this was kind of like, one of those weird... Oh my god, we were actually really close. This was one of those weird, like, one-off reveals, kind of like, Grafaiai. But I do fully expect that we could get a new Pokemon trailer, like, next week. Because we're 2 months out from the game. And Joe Merrick over at Cerebi was pointing out that by 2 months before release, for Sun and Moon, we already knew like 50 Pokemon. For Sword and Shield, we knew, I want to say like 16. And for this game, we know 20. Which I actually do, right, that's actually a interesting thing, right? Right, like, we know more than we did Sword and Shield, but we don't know as much as we did Sun and Moon. Because I think they revealed way too much for Sun and Moon. I don't remember X and Y. I think X and Y, they had revealed like 30-something. Which I think is over like half of X and Y's decks, because X and Y only has like 60 Pokemon. Not counting Megas. I think it added 30 Megas. Ooh. Okay, a 96 Gal. I can work with a 96 Gal. Don't love 96 Gal, but I can work with it. But yeah, right now we know 20, which I definitely... Because Sword and Shield, it just... Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I totally agree with the Sun and Moon showed too much. But Sword and Shield 60 also felt like a little too little. And right now, I've been happy with a steady stream of usually, like, one new trailer that reveals, like, 2 or 3 new Pokemon. And then, and then like, one other random Pokemon revealed in the month. Yeah, it's usually 2, sometimes it's 3. I don't know, I'm waiting for them to reveal the freaking, what's it called, Pokemon? the car, the engine. That's the steel poison type, supposedly. I don't know. I would guess it would be steel poison type. Oh, come on, stupid little bugs. Because they do still have to reveal that. Because we know, like, everybody knows about it. They just haven't officially revealed it yet. Okay, someone's got to take care of some of these. Oh, did I not get one? So, our next story is, Ubisoft put out a statement earlier this week, officially delaying Skull and Bones. It's been delayed until... Oh, I want to say it's March. I have the release date pulled up somewhere. March 9th. So it's been delayed from... I want to say it had a December release date to now having a March release date. So that is, you know, so the whole reason Skull and Bones still exists as a video game is because Ubisoft set up a development studio in Singapore with a large amount of money from the government of Singapore to do it. And, right, and if they don't release a game, then they have to pay back that money. And now, supposedly, the deadline for that contract was this year, right? They had to do it by this year. So I would have thought that would have already, right? So that's why I was like, oh, they're just pushing Skull and Bones out because they need to hit that release date. But no, even though I still think that is true, it looks like it doesn't actually matter to Ubisoft. Or it looks like maybe they were able to get an extension on that contract somehow. Because, yeah, it's now coming out in, Really? A fly fit? Whatever. So, yeah, Skull and Bones is now officially coming out in, March. But I laugh that it's, you know... Because fuck Ubisoft. I'm amazed this game still exists, honestly. Fuck Ubisoft, they're a shitty company. You know? I mean, every company is shitty. I was just thinking the other day about how Nintendo's a shitty company. And Nintendo of America is filled with, sexual abuse allegations. And them abusing and then them overworking their QA testers and whatnot. So nobody's safe. Fuck the entire video game industry. But yeah, Ubisoft I especially hate. Because Ubisoft makes all these claims about being better, but they aren't. They say that, oh, we fixed our problems, yet every internal statement that, you know, people put out anonymously, because out of fear of retaliation, is that, no, actually things are just as bad. Right? That, yeah, sure, they've removed some of the people, but the studio hasn't gotten better. But yeah, Ubisoft Singapore, just another great example of that. That Ubisoft is, right, just... Because I was excited for Skull and Bones at one point. I liked Ubisoft games, but nope. And even now, if I still liked Ubisoft games, I probably wouldn't be excited for this. The development hell that has surrounded this game has killed any interest, yeah, even before the Ubisoft allegations. I mean, I was probably still looking forward to it, but, ugh, God, no. Nowadays, fuck this entire game. Oh my, God. So yeah, the other thing, real quick, since we're talking about Ubisoft, the company that mentally and physically abuses its employees, I do also want to remind people that, oh God, I was gonna try to save you. I do also want to remind, we did also get a new story trailer for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. And the story trailer basically confirms what people had been speculating about, Rosalina being Cursa. Yeah, the trailer it doesn't directly say it, but at one point right, like in the last trailer we got during the Nintendo Direct, you saw Cursa's eye, and it looked like Rosalina's eye, just red. But in this new story trailer, you see Cursa's eye, but for a brief second, it turns blue. And it's like, yep, that's 100%. And you see like a little bit of the like skin underneath. It is 100% Rosalina. So yeah, they gave away... I mean, it's honestly, I still think it's a really cool idea. Right, making Rosalina the villain, even if she's just possessed. That's still a good idea. I don't know. I was just... It was the new trailer this week. Again, I have no plans on picking up the game, but it doesn't look terrible. Honestly, not bad at all. But fuck you. So while yes, I would be happy to support David S. Soliani because his studio is mostly allegation free. I refuse to support Izgumo, and you can't support one without supporting the other. So yeah. Next up, the big story of the night. I would say this is the big story of the night. Google Stadia has been officially shut down. Yep, the streaming service that came out when next-gen consoles were really hard to find and everybody was stuck inside their houses playing video games, somehow managed to fail. And because of those two things, the only thing I can blame is Google. Honestly, it's all Google's fault this failed. Like, this is entirely on them. And, like, I don't blame, like, the common people on the ground. Maybe I blame a marketing department a little bit. But, like, the actual, like, software, hardware developers who are making this stuff, nope, I don't blame them at all. I entirely blame the Google executives. What Google Stadia should have been, it should have been Google's answer to Xbox Game Pass. That would have been fantastic. Xbox Game Pass, but for cloud streaming? Yeah, great idea. Especially during the time period when nobody else was offering that. But guess what? Now both Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Premium Plus, whatever it's called, both offer cloud streaming as part of their, gaming subscription services. So yeah, literally both those companies... I mean, Xbox Game Pass existed by the time Stadia was revealed. But both these other companies announced services that just did what Google Stadia did, but better. And because of that, Google Stadia is now being shut down in January of next year. So yeah, I can easily blame Google for this. Not hard at all for Google and its executives. Because this is, I mean, we all knew this was going to be a failure. Because, when has Google successfully done a project like this? Right? I know Google Glass was always just a beta, but Google Glass, Google Wave, Google, other thing. I can only think of those two examples, but trust me, there are others. Oh, I was like, wait, why hadn't it? Because the second those two got out, it's hard to be a professional, man. At least if I rank down, at least I'll have another chance to beat Kohozuno. At least I'll have a chance to beat Kohozuno. But yeah, Google Stadia failing, not surprising at all. God, I got a lot of... wow, that was a big pay cut. But yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest that Google Stadia is being shut down. And it never seemed... like, I will stand by. Google Stadia wasn't a bad idea. Like, I definitely never really trusted it because I don't trust... like, I barely trust digital games. That, like, a company at any point could decide to restrict access from a digital game to you. I would never trust streaming services. Because, right, like this shows, at any moment, they can just be shut down. Piracy is archival. And it kind of, I have no problem with that. Because piracy is sometimes the only way to archive games. And it's sometimes the only way to archive movies and TV shows. As we're seeing with HBO Max right now. Right? Sometimes it's the only way. Alright, I'm gonna trust they have that. Someone's got to deal with some of these things. Oh my god. But yeah, so I'm not at all surprised by this. I did actually own a Google Stadia controller. I bought one in I bought one last year. Specifically because it was like 20 bucks and it came with a free Chromecast Ultra, which is like the 4K Google Chromecast. And I was like, "Oh, 4K Chromecast. That sounds good." Right? I could use one of those. So yeah, I bought one for like 20 bucks just to get the free Chromecast Ultra. Which yeah, sounded like a pretty sweet deal at the time, and yeah. Now, one of the good things at the moment is that it seems like Google is refunding people. So right, if you bought any games on Stadia, it looks like you are getting those games refunded. Which that is a good thing. Theoretically. Yeah, that is a good thing. So, I don't know, I guess I gotta give them, I mean, if they refund my stupid Stadia controller, right, boom, there's another free Chromecast for me. Now I can get one of those new ones with a remote control that maybe works better, because mine definitely has some my non-Chromecast Ultra definitely is up there in age. My TV I'm using it on is also up there in age, but actually, that's not true. I mean, like I said, I did get a new TV. I just didn't. Right, I kept the old. You better believe I kept the old one. What am I gonna do? Get rid of it? No, it still worked fine. I just wanted to. Right, I wanted something nice for once. That's so much to ask for. Why? Are there two eels here? Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, Google Stadia. Yeah, you know, it doesn't surprise me at all. Again, it's entirely Google's fault that this failed. Because there is literally no reason this... Right, this could have been a complete success. I still think in some ways this is a good... Google Stadia is a good idea. Right, there are still elements where I'm like, no, this makes sense. I get how this could have been a success. This is... But it doesn't surprise anybody. Right, this is one of the least surprising things ever. The fact that this failed. Right, that Google is shutting it down. I mean, it was rumored to be shut down a few weeks ago. Oh, here we go, the new bow. But the fact that it's actually happening is not a surprise. It's a surprise to nobody. Right, this ain't no secret. It was Google Stadia being shut down was not a secret to everybody. Are we out of the... Okay, this bow is so weird. Like, in a way that I can't even really describe. Oh my god. Did it just get... Did the fucking pillar just deep throat this thing? It looked like it did. Oh my god. let's bring that. Oh my god. So yeah, anything else about Google Stadia? I don't know. It's not surprising at all. I hope the Google Stadia controller I can just hook up to a PC and use like you would an Xbox controller. Right? I hope it's just not garbage. Because at least like the Steam controller, right? Like I have one. I got one of those for like $5. And like, it's not great. But you know, it works. I can use it as a PC controller. I hope I can just hook up the Stadia controller and use it like a PC controller. Because otherwise, then it's just taking up space. And I'll probably just toss it. Either that or it's a piece of memorabilia, you know. Because you better believe I never used it. Like, one of the inherent problems with Google Stadia was that you had to pay, like, a subscription fee to get, like, they wanted you to pay a Netflix subscription style fee, and then just never gave you any fucking games with it. Like, what, I know it got you, like, 4K games or whatever, but no. Like, Xbox, for the same amount of money, Xbox is probably, like, $5 more or whatever, but you get the entire Game Pass library, and the cloud share stuff is just like an extra to be added on. So yeah. Next up, oh, the tent umbrella. Okay, I wasn't even sure what I was holding there for a minute. Next up, so Studio ZA/UM, the developers behind Disco Elysium. So we know they had recently announced that they were working on a new project. I think it was a sci-fi related game? That sounds right in my head, that they were working on some sort of sci-fi game. Right? As like and they might be working on a Disco Elysium 2. That might have also been announced, but I specifically remember something about a sci-fi game. So I was like, yeah, right? I was looking for... I mean... I've only played a little bit of Disco Elysium. I really need to put more time into it. But it is a very good game. Disco Elysium is one of the best written games of all time. So, right, like, I was definitely interested in more Disco Elysium. I'll say that for sure. But there was an announcement this morning that I guess multiple leads from the studio that makes Disco Elysium have left. Specifically from what I remember, and I'll pull up the exact statement here in a second. But if I remember correctly, it made it sound like they were basically forced out of the company. So that sucks. Just straight up, that definitely gives me hesitation towards whatever their next project was. I mean, we don't know any of the reasoning, we don't know any of the specifics behind any of this. We just know, right, that, yeah, several people have left the company. And that probably isn't... no matter what, it's probably not a good thing. Right? Whether they were forced out by a parent organization, or they were forced out because of some sort of potential scandal, that's not a good thing either way. Come on, I'm trying to pull up the tweet. Okay, a rapid blaster. So this is from Nibel on Twitter. It appears that key leads behind Disco Elysium, including Robert Kurtzitz, Alexandra Rostev, and Helen Hindripa, have been pushed out of ZA/UM, the company, and are not involved with the sequel anymore. So that's the official from Nibel. And yeah, that's not entirely great. So yeah, they say pushed out of the company. So that could be, right, that could be a good... That's probably a bad thing. But if there was some sort of allegations against them, then who forkin' knows? Right? We just don't know all the details yet, so... Literally anything is possible here. But yeah, I just brought it because, you know, this was a story that broke this morning. And I do like Disco Elysium. It's a good game. It's just... it's a lot. The game's a lot. It's very well written. But it can take a lot. I have it on PlayStation. PS5 specifically. But yeah, I don't know. It gives me hesitation for whatever their next project is. Or the Disco Elysium sequel that may or may not exist. Yeah. So yeah, that's that quick short story. I guess this takes us into WIBE. So, I haven't, right, outside of getting A rank, I admittedly have not been playing much Splatoon. Right, I got to A rank, I did that on, like, Monday, and then I have not really played the game much since then. Oh my god, did we not kill it? So yeah, I need to play more Split. You know, I still enjoy the game. I want to do more story. The problem is I've just been too busy. Like, really, that's what it all comes down to. Is I've just been too busy. And I've got a conference next week, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. Like, it really throws everything. Like, it just creates problems. Oh, but yeah, so I'm just extremely, right, I'm just busy. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. I thought they were throwing... Where's the big... I thought the big shot was over on this side. I guess maybe it's over on this side. You know, if we can just get one more in, we can play defensive. Oh, it's down there. God, I do not like this. You know, I was excited for Grizz Kobo. I should not have been excited for Grizz Kobo. Grizz Kobo is not great. Oh, shit, Kohozuna. Let's deal with this. Alright, so... Now, supposedly at higher levels, Kohozuna is just impossible to defeat. We've got Hydra Splatling. Oh, shit. What you're supposed to do here, to my best understanding of how you do this, is, right, you want to throw the eggs at Kohozuna. Right? The golden eggs are where you get the damage from. But you also want to use the golden eggs to get more golden eggs. So, right, you use the golden eggs to get the golden eggs. Because they one-shot all bosses. That is the main focus. Because, right, one golden egg right there turns into 3. Right, like that. And then once you get those new golden eggs, you throw 2 at Kohozuna and figure out what to do with the other one. At least that's what I've been told to do. But goddamn, it just seems impossible on higher levels. Yeah, no, like, I feel like on higher levels, nobody can beat this thing. Yeah, it just seems impossible on higher levels. I mean, we did okay. I mean, we could have done... I mean, I died way too many times. But yeah, what you should be doing is focusing on defeating the other bosses. Defeat one, chuck 2 eggs at Kohozuna, take the 3rd one and defeat another boss. Chuck 2 more eggs at Kohozuna, take the 3rd one and defeat another boss. That's what you should be doing. That's what everyone... Just kind of ignore Kohozuna except for chucking the eggs at it. But yeah, that seems kind of hit and miss. So, we'll see. We did okay as a team other than that. Definitely did not like the, honestly having this giving me a Hydro Splatling. If I had gotten probably even a sniper wouldn't have helped, but right, like if they had given me any roller, any blaster, I probably would have done better because at least those are weapons I know. So yeah, I have not been playing Splatoon, you know, I really should be playing more. It's still a really good game, but yeah, I hadn't even booted it up in a few days. What else? What else have I been? I haven't touched Undertale as well. I don't think I've touched Undertale since I beat Undying, Undying. Just normal Undying, not the Undying. Just normal Undying. I haven't touched the game since then. I really should play more, I just haven't. Yeah, like, oh god, imagine giving me the... Oh, I could have used these so much in the boss fight, because I actually know how to use these weapons. I got to A-rank with these things. Oh my god. So what else? What else have I been... Arkham... So, right, I talked a few weeks ago about how I had my, my dear Madre playing. She's a big fan of Batman. She's excited. She's never played any of the games. And I had her play, she wants to play the new one, Gotham Knights. But I had to, right, before then I was like, oh, well, you should play the other ones. So I had her play Arkham Asylum. Took her a while to beat Arkham Asylum. This week, or for this past, like, month or so since then, we've been scrolling away at Arkham City. And, yeah, we finally beat that, last week. That happened on Sunday. And, yeah, I think Arkham City, one, it felt a lot shorter. I don't know, I don't think it actually is shorter. It definitely felt a lot shorter, that's for sure. So I felt like it went by a lot faster. Especially because she really didn't do any of the side missions. I mean, she did one or two of the phone calls with Victor Zsasz. She did, one of the Riddler rooms. She got a few of the Riddler trophies, not that many. She did one of the missions for, oh, okay. Dark Tetra. She did one of the missions for, who else gives you side quests? Oh, Deadshot. That's what I'm thinking of. I know there's the whole Azrael thing in the post-game, but at least, right, she didn't find it until the post-game, or at least, I mean, I technically found it because, I watched through the credits, and then I immediately afterwards, there's the Catwoman segment, and... Okay, so I want to talk about the Cat... So, I do not remember the Catwoman stuff in the original Arkham Asylum. Or Arkham City, I mean. Maybe it was always there. For some reason, I just had no memory of it. So, right, you do the first segment at the start of the game. Then you do the second segment after the Joker poisons you. And then Catwoman doesn't have another segment until, like, the very end of the game. Right? Like, right before the end. Catwoman gets another segment. And then there's one final Catwoman segment after you beat the game. After you beat the final boss. And that's it. And because I was expecting a new Catwoman segment. Every, like, right, like, every time you, like, did a major boss fight. So, like, I was fully expecting one after you defeat Solomon Grundy. I'm gonna spoil the full game, by the way. I mean, it's over 10 years old, so of course I'm gonna spoil it. I was expecting a Catwoman fight after you beat Solomon Grundy. Nope, didn't happen. I was expecting one after you, beat Mr. Freeze or whatever. After you beat Ra's al Ghul. Didn't happen. So, yeah, there were tons of places for Catwoman segments that just straight up didn't happen. And it honestly really surprised me. But yeah, there was only the one during, there's only, like, they happen early on and then at the very end. And that's it. But yeah, other than that, you know, it felt a lot more, the game felt a lot more straightforward. Ross, story-wise, I knew Ra's al Ghul, or Hugo Strange was working for Ra's al Ghul. That was like the only answer that made sense. I did not know, so I had never actually beat Arkham City before. I know I had played past the Solomon Grundy part, but I kind of didn't remember anything after that. I completely forgot that Ra's al Ghul... Either I completely forgot, or I just straight up didn't know that Ra's al Ghul was in the game. But yeah, Ra's al Ghul is the, it's revealed that, yeah, Hugo Strange is working for Ra's al Ghul. So that was a surprise. Yeah, that was a surprise for sure. But yeah, the second, like, because you hear Hugo Strange's, like, plan, you find out that Protocol 10 is just to kill everyone in Arkham City. And I was like, oh, okay, because Ra's al Ghul's whole goal is to kill, like, everybody in Gotham. So I guess that makes sense, you know, for him. I was, right, I kind of, like, figured out the twist right before they reveal it. And, and Ra's al Ghul is just disappointed with Hugo Strange. He then fucking kills himself by, like, jumping out the window and, like, impaling himself on a fence. That's how Ra's al Ghul dies at the end of the game. But yeah, right afterwards, right, when you get control of Batman, because you go defeat Harvey Dent again. Super easy to defeat the second time, I should say. Defeating Harvey Dent the second time, he's got, like, a flamethrower. Maybe even fireflies. Nothing. Nothing. Super easy to defeat him the second time. You then take control of Batman. And I was like, oh, well... And right, I see there's, like, this red, shadowy figure. And I was like, oh my god, is that Red Hood? Because before then in the game, you meet Robin. And you find out Robin... And I was like, oh, is this, right, Tim Drake? Is this Jason Todd? Is this, Dick Grayson? It turns out it's... I knew it definitely wasn't Damian, because I think the game came out before Damian was introduced in the comics. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like it. But yeah, no, you can, like, press the, like, get more info button. And yeah, you find out that, no, it's, Tim Drake Robin. So I see this, right, figure in, like, a red mask, and I'm like, oh, is that Jason Todd? Because I know Jason Todd's in the new game. I've never played Arkham City as well. I'm pretty sure Jason Todd is in Arkham City. But yeah, I know Jason Todd's in the new game. And I was like, oh, hey, is this mysterious figure Jason Todd? It's fucking Azrael. I always want to call him Azrael Drimmer. That's Undertale. Yeah, the mysterious figure is fucking Azrael. A character that, as far as I know, people in the comics hate. So that was a big surprise, to say the least. But yeah, that's who this guy is. That looks, again, I know he's got magic, but if I just looked at this design, I would have sworn this was going to be Red Hood. But nope. Not one bit. It's just fucking Azrael. I can't remember if I can blow these things up. No, you can't. God, I fucking hate those things. Oh, come on. Okay, I got fucking smooshed. But yeah, so that was a whole disappointment. Now, I do know Arkham Knight, to get the true ending, you do have to, like, get every Riddler trophy, get every, like, do every, like, I think they're, like, base missions or something. You have to do all of those. So that sounds like a nightmare and a half to get the true... I might just look that up on YouTube. But yeah. Oh my god, this was just the first wave? What? Okay. Oh my god, that was a nightmare. But yeah, no, Arkham City is, I mean, without doing, like, basically any of the side missions. Again, there was a few moments. right? There were a few Riddler. There were some Riddler trophies that just that like even I tried to get, and I was so fucking confused. I'm pretty sure you have to get them all without touching the ground. Like, I think that's the twist. But there are some where it's like, oh, it looks like you have to hit 6 targets in a row. But at most, I could figure out how to do 3. And then it just reset quick and fast, like too fast. So that was like a whole pain in the ass thing. But yeah, no, we didn't even, I mean, we didn't get close in Arkham Asylum either, so to be fair. Nope, too late. No, just too late again. Come on at me. Okay. Yeah, so Arkham City was, you know, I think things went a lot smoother in Arkham City. I mean, we'll see how Arkham Knight goes, but I think things went a lot smoother. Things were a little bit more straightforward. There's just too much. I had no idea where they even were. You know, Arkham City is a... I don't know. There are still things in Arkham Asylum that I think are, like... Because Arkham City is right where the game it becomes an open world game. But I definitely do like the structured linearity of Arkham City, or of Arkham Asylum, that I feel like Arkham City kind of misses. But one of the things I do really like about the game is how it uses different villains and different characters than Arkham Asylum. Right? Arkham Asylum uses... let's see. So it uses Joker and Harley Quinn. It uses Scarecrow. And it uses... Poison Ivy, right? I mean, there's a few... Victor's ass shows up. Clayface technically has a cameo in it. There's a few other villains I'm forgetting. But right, it uses very specific ones. This new game, on the other hand, Two-Face, the Penguin. Clayface technically gets a more prominent appearance. Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul. Yes, Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze gets a main role. And he even fucks you up. I did want to, at the end, help like, if Mr. Freeze had just given us the cure, but, like, made a deal with us that, like, yeah, I'll give it to you, but you have to save my wife from the Joker. Right? You know Batman would have stuck to that deal. But no, of course he destroys the antidote on us. And there's only one. But yeah, so that was right, if he had just actually trusted us, both of us could have benefited from it. But nope, instead he thought, like, oh, we're gonna betray him and whatnot. And, you know, he wants to save his wife and everything. I don't know. It's just, to be fair, it's what I expect from the character. But at the end, I was telling her, like, oh, you should go over here, right? Because there's something about because Harley Quinn is, like, tied up at the end, which confused the heck out of me. I was like, wait, why is she tied up here? You find out Talia did it. But I was fully expecting, like, I was fully expecting something to have right up, especially because while in the Joker's hideout, there's, like, this pathway to go do other stuff. And I was like, oh, is this where you go find Nora? No, it's not. You just get more freeze bombs on the separate pathway. But I know there is probably a side mission to go save Nora. So but of course we beat the game, and it's just like, oh, you beat the game? Well, it's time to move on now. Right? We've only got 3 weeks until Gotham Knights comes out, so we might as well just move on to the next game. Right? Like, what's even the point? It's probably best to move on to the next one. Oh my god, we got nothing turned in. Holy crap. We were killing everything, but we just weren't turning in eggs. Okay. But yeah. There was one other thing I thought we had to talk about this week. No, I guess that's it. Arkham City. The ending, I did know, so even though I had never beaten this game before, I did know about the ending. that that the Joker dies at the end. And as far as I know, the Joker is not in the next game. I could totally be wrong. It could turn out that he's the Arkham Knight. But as far as I know, the Joker... I mean, there might be flashbacks, but yeah. But yeah, no, it was really nice to, you know... I mean, Joker's technically the villain in this game, but really he does kind of... In theory, he takes a slide role to Hugo Strange and Ra's al Ghul. But then it also kind of feels the opposite way around again. I don't know. Like, he was definitely the main antagonist of the last one. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul doesn't feel like the main antagonist to this one. And Hugo Strange does... And then he doesn't, and then he does again. It's kind of weird, because then you're right. Then once he does, he kind of immediately gets overshadowed by Ra's al Ghul. So it's just kind of this whole thing. So we do have an amiibo to unbox tonight, so I'm gonna do that real quick. So I'm gonna go get that real quick, and then we'll just continue on with more Saturn. So give me a second to go get that. I gotta go find the box for it. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even check to see if the webcam works. I'm just hoping it does. Oh shit, it does. That's cool. That's cool. So, so last week, or 2 weeks ago now, I think it was, we opened Inkling Girl and Inkling Boy. I kind of haven't moved them off my desk. That's why I still have them. Because, yeah, I just didn't move them off my desk. So, yeah, we've got both of them. And I had mentioned at the time that if they ever sold the purple Inkling Squid, I would pick that up. And, yeah, sure enough, it went up this week. It was a GameStop exclusive, which I didn't love that, but there it is. Splatoon 2 Inkling Squid. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing that exists, but I did pick it up, so I've got it. I think I have every Splatoon amiibo now. Well, except for the new ones that come out in like December or whenever. I have every, which I think that because I don't have every Zelda amiibo. I'm missing Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. Or maybe I'm missing Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. There were a few Zelda amiibos. They never reprinted. So, right, because they did a reprinting of every Zelda amiibo, except for Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. And I would have thought they would have done Skyward Sword when they re-released Skyward Sword. And instead they just made a new Loftwing amiibo, which I'm looking over there right now, and I just see it, like, flopped on its side like this. I have too many of these fucking figures, man. I have way too fucking many. But yeah, so we've got Purple Inkling Squid. I actually think this one's kind of neat. Just because of the pose. And this came in today. Like, literally, this came in, like, a few hours ago. I could have kept all these Splatoon amiibos in the box. Too bad I don't have the fucking room. Because, you know, it's nice because they don't have the metal thing on the bottom anymore. Right? It's just pure plastic. So... oh, God. See, the problem is it autofocuses on face. So you gotta... this is why people get separate cameras to do these sorts of things. Yeah, it's a very simple, you know, it's got the purple squid. It's got it in the middle of the splat jump. Which is probably why I like the pose on it. I like the mid-jumping pose. Right, how that works. It's very... it smells like fresh plastic, you know. It's got it, whereas the normal squid is just kind of like, oh, look at me, I am a squid. Right, it's like, it's standing up, but just barely. But this one is like straight up jumping. So that's actually very... it's a definitely... if I were to pick between these two, I would definitely pick this one over this one. However, when it comes to what these things actually give, like the gear they give, I like this one's armor better than this one's armor. This one gives like a robot suit, whereas this one gives like a different robot suit. But this robot suit's cooler than this one. And then there's... now, the one thing I can compare it to is this, the Octoling, which also has a sort of jumping pose, but it's got like its arms crossed, whereas this one's like more open. Honestly, these are some of the cooler amiibos. If just like figure-wise, giving them the ink splash and having them jump just makes them look cooler. And we know Little Buddy, Little Bud, in the new 3 set of amiibo, has like these like all these like swirls around him with like eggs in them. So that's definitely kind of cool, you know. Honestly, they're some of the better looking amiibos. Even if the ink is just like very simple, you know, it's an action pose, right? Which is a lot more than I can say about something like that. Not that I hate this thing at all. I actually think this is, out of all the Minecraft stuff, this is probably one of the better, like higher quality things. But right, it's better than that. I've literally just had these sitting on my desk for the past like 2 or 3 weeks now. I mean, these things are trying to do action poses, to be fair. If you look at them. Yeah, they're... oh boy, they're trying. I don't know. And then, of course, there's the new Splatoon figures. There's... I think it's not a guy and a girl this time. It's 2 girls. One is an Inkling, one is an Octoling. One has a Stringer. And while I would like to hope the other one would have, like, the Splatana, the new weapon, I want to say the other one has the 56 gal. Or the 96 gal, I mean. So yeah, it's not 2 new figures with 2 new weapons. It's, one has the new weapon, one has the 56 the 96 gal, and then, of course, there's Little Buddy. Yeah. Yeah, I now have all 3 of them. All 3 squids. So yeah, I've got this. I've got the complete fucking. I've got the complete Smash Bros. And the complete Splatoon series now. I will again. I'm missing 2 Zelda figures. I'm missing I'm missing 3 Fire Emblems, aren't I? I'm missing 2 Metroid. I've never bought a Monster Hunter, and I never will. And honestly, once the Smash Bros. Series is done, I'm done. Right? Like, once that's it, I'm out. But these were neat, right? And I'm probably going to pick up the next 3 animal. I don't think they ever went... the next 3 Splatoon series have gone on sale anywhere yet. Or if they did, they went up on, like, GameStop. And fuck GameStop, man. They're the fucking worst. I trust Target or Best Buy way more. But no, Purple Inkling was fucking GameStop exclusive, so... what you gonna do? What you gonna do? So yeah, give me a second, and I gotta throw away this box. And then, yeah, I'll be right back. I'm actually really surprised the webcam worked. Because we had all those problems where the webcam was breaking. So I was fully expecting that to be the case again. Nope. So that's neat, I guess. I don't know what new gear then. Do you think that... I just want whatever the bow. Because there's a Splatoon... The original girl gave a Splatoon 1, like, hairband. And the Splatoon 2 girl gives a Splatoon 2 hairband. So while I don't want another schoolgirl outfit, whatever the Splatoon 3 girl gives, the one with the bow and arrow, I want her to give a Splatoon 3 hairband. But I do want the rest of her outfit to be different. Also, we totally might get... Because we didn't get the Pearl and Marina amiibos until, like, a year after Splatoon 2's release. So it's totally possible we don't get Big Man, Shiver, and Freya until like a year after release, but I could also see that happening. I don't know, because there was question about whether they were going to do it with Splatoon 2 or not. And they ended up doing it. I don't actually know anything about the Gluga Dualies. I don't think I've ever used them before. I know every dualie has something special about them, right? Tetra does 4 slides. Right. I know every dualie does something different. I have no idea what the Gluga is. I know they're based off glue guns. Like hot glue guns. Which I think is funny, but I don't actually know what's special about them. I'm gonna leave the Moz back to Swan. Assuming it'll follow me. Yeah, so yeah, that was my amiibo. So next up, we got Rick and Morty. I just, honestly, like, I was talking about freaking Harley Quinn every week. And I should be talking about Rick and Morty every week. But I just kind of keep forgetting about it. I think the big thing is that this, right, Season 5, maybe Season 4 as well, but I know Season 5 for sure, was appearing weekly on HBO Max. It was easy to find the season to watch it every week, because it was on HBO Max every week. But this season hasn't been. So it has not been nearly as easy to watch. So yeah, I've struggled more to actually sit down and watch this season. So as a result, I keep forgetting about it. So we didn't talk about it last week. But so we'll talk about episode 3 and episode 4. So okay, just normal stringer. Episode 3 was a lesbian romance. A self-cessed lesbian romance. It wasn't just normal lesbian romance. It was self-cessed lesbian romance. Which, you know, you can debate about whether or not that's better or worse. I mean, we kind of I had those discussions a while ago with Loki. But yeah, we can have those discussions all over again now. About whether or not lesbian whether or not self-cessed is worse. It's the self-cessed part, right? The lesbian stuff is fine. It's the self-cessed stuff where I'm like, oh god, really? Really? And then, of course, there's the fact that Jerry's into it, which, to be fair, does make a very funny scene. Right? The scene where they're all because it's a Thanksgiving episode. So the scene where they're all, right, where Rick and Morty and Summer are in the kitchen eating, while everyone else is upstairs. Right? That's very funny. And of course, Jerry's dad was into, right, being cucked, so of course Jerry is. By both his wives. Like, there's, again, that's, some people pointed out that, like, every season of this show has to have an incest episode. And, right, because let's not forget about Space Baby Naruto, who they do bring up in this episode at the very end. So yeah, this show's, This show's a whole fucking thing, man. But yeah, it was, you know, it was a, you know, it was an okay episode. It got some laughs out of me. Realistic Street Fighter was pretty funny, right? Where you have to make it to the other person and then you can street fight them. That was funny. The rest of the video game stuff was, whatever, but that one was good. I think it was an okay episode. Honestly, I guess I say, oh, draw the line at self-cess wherever you want to. And I definitely do stand by that. I definitely don't think this is as bad as the incest baby. Right, Naruto? This definitely isn't as bad as that. So I definitely am a lot more lenient with the line. Let's go, let's say lenient with the line. Right, the bar has not fully been destroyed or whatever. So yeah, it was whatever. The other episode is our horror, because you know Halloween's in a few weeks, so we got our horror themed episode. You know, usually the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors are about a month out from October, so yeah, Rick and Morty did a horror episode where that is basically their take on the show Severance, which I have watched. I literally got Apple TV just to watch Severance. So I have seen Severance. And it's a show, if you don't know, Severance is a show where people, right, they go to work, but they have, like, a work self and, right, an at-home self. But the work self knows nothing about the at-home self. And the at-home self knows nothing about what's going on at work. And, of course, the corporation that, you know, did all this is evil and very cult-like. So there's definitely, like, honestly, if you had told me, right, like, the cult in, the corporation in, not Secession, the cult, Inscription. Inscription? Is that... God, even though I just said the show's name, I'm already forgetting it. The cult, the company in the show is a cult. And honestly, you could tell me it's the exact same company from the Stanley Parable, and I would believe you. Because sometimes it kind of, like, the way this company works, kind of, because there's definitely something evil going on. Like, this corporation is definitely doing something. It's called, did I call it Inscription? I can't believe I just completely spaced its name. Severance. Because they've been severed, right? Severance is a good show, you know, it's a lot like Westworld. That's, we might have talked about Severance when I watched it. I kind of don't, because I watched it in, like, March of this year or something like that. March or May, I kind of don't remember. But Severance, it reminds me of Westworld. Even, like, the season 1 finale. It basically has, like, the same finale as Westworld. Tonally, right? Like, different, like, nobody dies. But, like, tonally, it has, like, the same finale. It's a good show. But, yeah, they do their take on that, where they have night people, and the night people don't have any memories of what's going on with the day people, and the day people don't know anything about what's going on with the night people, and Summer is the boss of the night people, and just wants them to rinse their dishes, so that way when she does them, she doesn't have to, like, do anything, right? It's not an extra effort. And when they refuse, right, the night people take it personally, and basically overthrow everybody else, right? Get them into these sleeping pods, make robots to force the day people to do stuff. It's got these horror elements. It's technically, like, it's not, like, scary or anything, and it doesn't even have, like, as much weird stuff as, like, a Cronenberg Rick episode, but it's definitely got those weird moments. I'll give it that. I don't know. I liked it. You know, I thought it was a fine episode. Right, Summer being the boss of the Night People, and Night Rick just being a little bitch. Night Jerry, of course, being friends with Day Jerry, because they're pen pals with each other. Very on brand for Jerry. I mean, come on, we know what to expect at this point. Oh my god. I fucking hate... Honestly, if they had brought back every enemy but Flyfish, I would be happy. It's just flyfish are so fucking hard to deal with. Because you can only kill them in one specific way. And the game likes to spawn 3 of them at the same time. Like even the maw, which also needs to be killed with bombs. At least there's 2 ways to kill the maw. Right? You can shoot it or you can blow it up. But the fucking flyfish can only be killed by either blowing it up or you can hit it with a reef slider. If you jump from on top of it with the reef slider, it'll kill the flyfish. That's it. I think you used to be able to kill it with a stingray, but stingray's not in this game anymore. So, yeah, that's gone. So that sucks, right? That flyfish just suck. But yeah, so the whole night person bit in the new Rick and Morty, you know, you have those, right? You have this whole, like, car chase with the night people. That, right, as they're, like, switching back and forth between being awake and being asleep. And then the night people do eventually win, but they realize that, like, nothing's open at night. And, they still have to, like, have jobs and everything to make money and whatnot. And they can't just have the day people, like, do dishes and whatnot. Yeah, no, that's a good end. And so they eventually give up. That's a good ending. Very Dan Harmon-esque. Oh, it looks like they're making a Community movie, because Dan Harmon and the rest of the cast have been tweeting out 6 seasons in a movie, and they did get 6 seasons. So now all they need is a movie. I've only watched a few episodes of Community, right? I've only seen maybe like a dozen or so. Which is surprising for how much I do like Rick and Morty, right? You would have think that I would have gone back and watched Community, but nah, I never did. But yeah, so yeah, Rick and Morty was, like, I definitely don't feel like, and I said this before, the show itself has never hit the high of Season 3 again. Season 3 was its peak, and it's never gone that high before. But I don't think it's ever gone that low either, right? Like, it's never... I mean, last season was definitely its weakest, but that's because you had shit like, giant incest baby and sperm monsters, and fuck, man, like, what? Come on, what were you fucking thinking? But no, it's not like South Park, right? Where it's like South Park season 20 just kind of ruined the show. And while the more recent seasons haven't been the worst thing I've ever seen, it just, like, it lost all the magic, and I just no longer kind of give a shit. And even when they did kind of try to change the status quo, they ended up just undoing it all, so what's even the point? It's like, the Streaming Wars was fine, it was just, it lacked some of the magic of the original show. I don't know, what else can I say? The election of Donald Trump just fucking ruined South Park. That's really all I can say about it. Is that Donald Trump ruined South Park. And it's not even because, like, they agreed or disagreed with Donald Trump. It was just felt like they just didn't know how to do good episodes anymore, and especially in season 20, it just felt like they were scrambling. I don't know, but no, it's just no season's been as strong as 20, but I'll keep watching. I mean, I'm still enjoying. The finale of last season was pretty good. There was like 1 or 2 other episodes that I remember really liking last season. Nothing's been amazing so far, but, maybe it'll get there eventually. I'm gonna go fucking deal with it. Ugh. If I hadn't died, I was gonna go deal with that thing. We only need to get 2 more in, so... As long as we don't get out right here, I think we should be good. But you're dead, aren't you? You're fucking dead. Yep. So, next up, we got She-Hulk. New episode of She-Hulk came out. Yeah, I'm still really liking this show. I think it's a pretty solid oh my god, we had 2 bows, no wonder. Fuck, man, 2 bows, that's harsh. I'm disappointed there's none of the other Grisco weapons, just the bow. Because there's also a Grisco Brella, there's a Grisco Blaster. There's one other Grisco weapon as well, I don't remember what the 4th one is. Yeah, the bows, ugh. So yeah, new She-Hulk. This episode, you know, I know people have mixed feelings on this show. And I'm not even talking about, right, the sexists and the mostly sexist, let's be honest here. I'm sure there are racists and homophobes in there as well. Even though, has the show had a gay character in it? I mean, I'm sure there are, right, usually when you fit one category, you kind of hit them all. Usually. But it's mostly sexist. And, right, even, like, looking past those people, there are people who have actual problems with the show, and I kind of get it. Right? But so far, I have been enjoying it. And to be fair, all of the Marvel shows kind of have these problems. But so far, okay, I can work with a Splash-O-Matic. Yeah, so far, I've been enjoying it. I think it's funny, I like the writing, I like the character of Jen, and right, because the show has all been about the struggles between Jennifer Walters and S.H.I.E.L.D. And we see that constantly in the show. Right, and we see, because as we see Jen struggle with being Jen versus She-Hulk, which is epitomized in that one scene with the fucking dating app that I really thought was going to be more of like a throwaway joke, but it's actually very pivotal for the show so far, and they keep referencing back to it. I also do like this, that the general, like, that while the show really, like, they have Intelligentsia, which is definitely feeling like it's some sort of, like, main villain organization thing. But really, Intelligentsia is just toxic fandom. That's, I mean, it's 4chan, right? And it's not even always just 4chan, right? Like, I saw a joke where someone was like, oh, someone complaining about She-Hulk not having a villain. And it's like, you dumb fuck. Yes, She-Hulk has a villain. It's you. That's the whole point of the show. And and even though that was said as a joke, technically they're not wrong. Right? The main villain of She-Hulk is the toxic fandom. But yeah, this episode has Jen going to, well, she goes to visit Abomination, just in case something's gone wrong, right? Emil Blonsky. And while there, her car gets beat up, because Blonsky is living at, like, a compound that basically has the goal of reforming supervillains. At least I think they're supposed to be supervillains, right? Super people. That's kind of the goal of the place. And so Jen doesn't want to be there, because instead she had the date with the guy, and the episode starts off like that, where she had the date with the guy, but it didn't exactly go well. Or it was going good, and then he, like, ghosts her, and now she's just worried about that, and she wants to get back to him. So the episode kind of deals with that. That, right, all she wants to do is get back to this guy. But, right, she's still stuck here. And then it goes into group therapy, where it's Jen in group therapy. I hate how easy these bombs are to miss. Yeah, it's Jen in group therapy. Right, talking about what it's like to be She-Hulk. Right, how, oh, she thought she met a nice guy who liked Jen for Jen. But no, now they have sex once and he just ghosts her. And how it just makes her feel terrible. And yeah, no, I think, honestly, the group therapy bit of just her being honest is really good. I'm gonna be so fucking disappointed when it's revealed these guys are the villains. That all of these guys are, because one of them is one of the Wrecking Crew from last episode. And, right, he has, like, an honest conversation with Jen about it. So I'm gonna be super fucking disappointed when we find out that this guy, right, that all these people in Emil Blonsky are working for Intelligentsia. That's gonna be so disappointing. I'm gonna be so sad about that, but that's probably gonna be what's happening. Because at the end of the episode, we find out that the guy is working for, that the guy Jen was dating, that seemed really nice, was working for Intelligentsia. So yeah, he's evil, and right, in order to get the Hulk's blood, right, they tried stabbing her, and that didn't work. So instead he sleeps with her, and it seems like that worked. So this, I think his name was Josh, was able to get She-Hulk's blood. Oh! Oh, sorry. Oh no. That sounded so fucking sarcastic. Oh, it's a Moz! Oh god, it's a fucking Moz. So yeah, overall, you know, I thought it was a good episode. I liked all the commune stuff. I really hope they don't turn out to be evil. I'm gonna be like, Josh turning out to be evil makes sense. I really hope these guys also don't turn out to be evil, because it was way too wholesome of a bit to just end it on like, oh, guess what? Surprise! These guys are also working for a villain. I am surprised they brought, because honestly, they could have just gotten rid of Blonsky. No sweat off my back, honestly. But no, they didn't, and yeah, there was no B-plot this episode. I think this is the first episode since like the first one to not have a B-plot, which I think is fine. Right? Not every episode needs a B-plot. This episode really didn't feel like it, right? It was fine. The main core of the episode is strong enough that it didn't really need one. So yeah, I thought it was a very solid episode. I really enjoyed it. Well... So yeah, that's where we're at this week with She-Hulk. Very good. I still think it's a good show. It's definitely not for everyone. And I'm not always talking about the sexism and whatnot. Just as like the show as general. I definitely see how, right? Because Marvel shows have problems. But overall, I think the show is good. Alright, here we go. Second chance at Kohozuna. Let's fucking do this thing. Focus on the bosses. Focus on the bosses. Come on, give me a good weapon. Give me a good weapon. God. Fucking bucket. Bucket! Where is he? Oh my god. Just fucking get me. Where is he? Where is Kohozuna? Bring me the head of Kohozuna. Give me that back. Oh my god, we're doing no damage to this fucker. Oh my god. Again, I'm trying to focus on bosses here, but it's not really helping. Oh, and I missed. You know, and you know what? It sucks when you miss. You don't get the egg back. That's it. No more egg. Yeah, we fucking got our ass kicked. Kohozuna is very hard on higher difficulties. I mean, because yeah, you're supposed to focus on the other bosses and not deal damage to them, but I feel like everybody doesn't get that. And god, we didn't even get any silver shells. I've never seen a gold shell. Do gold shells even exist? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, oh god. So yeah. I guess that, so yeah, that was my thoughts on She-Hulk. You know, I'm enjoying it. It's not for everyone, but I like it. So I guess that takes us into the outro. Yeah, I guess that takes us into the outro. So let's see what we got. We got 14 rewards. Fair few, actually. Oh, look at all those meal tickets. Oh, we just... No, swap for chunks. I guess we'll swap for that for chunks. I'm surprised we're getting last month's gear as well. That's honestly kind of surprising. I'll keep the new gear, even though I don't love it. I'll keep it. And yeah, I'm perfectly fine with the hat we have. Yeah, like this figure needs a gold shell. I have no idea how to get it. I've never seen a gold shell. I'm honestly surprised they didn't add new banners and stickers. Yeah. God, 100. I've barely scraped 50, and the game's been out for a little bit now. I should actually see what's in the store, the digital store. Oh, so the Splatoon app updated, and they added, like, widgets? So you can now create, like, these little widgets that allow you to, like, see stuff. I don't need an Ember Ninja Squid shirt. Nah. Let's do a game of Rainmaker to end off. I think Rainmaker's still in the rotation. We haven't been going for 2 hours. Yeah, fucking let's do a game of Rainmaker, sure. Now let's still use this thing that, again, I haven't entirely learned how to use. It's what, a 3-shot kill? Yeah. I mean, it's faster if you hold down the trigger, but honestly, getting those precise shots with such high accuracy is really nice. And of course, ability rank up isn't still in the game, so that sucks. Our main power up, they got rid of that. For the second time, because there used to be attack up, but then they got rid of attack up in Splatoon 2, and now they got rid of main power up in Splatoon 3. Yeah, we'll do this one game and then we'll end off for the night. Yeah, the split, you know, it's an okay weapon, you know. Oh my god. Oh, okay, we'll try one more time. We're gonna actually try to get a game in. Supposedly the new update has fixed some of the problems, so we'll have less disconnects. We'll have yet to see that, but I mean, we've only played, what, 3 games in the new update? Because I did just download the new update today. I have not played it. Yeah, let's get a new team. I don't think it matters, but let's just get a new team. But yeah, it is nice. It was nice to finally get into A rank. You know, after my last time, which is just such an epic failure, it was nice to have a second chance to actually, you know, do it. Yeah, there's still, I'm definitely not great at this game. But, you know, I'm trying. That's for sure. It's gonna suck when the next season starts and I rank back down to B rank, because I'll never be able to get out of A. At least I know something like that does happen. I definitely don't know all the details. Yeah, ProChara, professional player, one of the mini professionals of this game, who honestly I did get when Chugga Conroy was doing his Let's Play. I got really big into ProChara earlier in the year, and I know he did his official like tier list for this game, and I know he put Blue-Shomatic is very low, and Splash-O-Matic is very high. And of course, other people are going to do tier lists of their own, and, you know, they'll have their own thoughts on it, but... Okay, I definitely don't want to take it. God, I'm so... I'm so bad with the bazooka. Oh my god. Oh. Fuck out of there. Yeah, I'm still not great. Honestly, I was doing pretty well with the Dapple Dualies. Again, another weapon here is pretty low. But yeah, you know, I've been watching, because, you know, I want to get better at the game, so I've been watching all of the, like, professional, like, streamers and Let's Players and whatnot. I use Let's Players, I mean competitive players. God. I guess I'm just old school like that. I was like, how do I advance from this? Yeah, right now I'm relying too much on this, like, the two-shot that comes in the initial wave. I really need to do some more holding down of the button. Oh, come on! What the fork was that? Yeah, I fucking oh my god, he got way farther than he should have. Where'd you go? Oh my god. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at this game. And I haven't even used my freaking ball. Yeah, I know the bazooka's pretty strong. I just haven't been using it. Because I'm not really good at aiming it. Oh, we got somebody. I really should have stayed back and used the Zuka. Yeah, I really should be putting more time. Because I like Rainmaker as a game mode. I think it's a pretty solid game mode. Oh my god. And I'm laying hits into these people. I'm just not laying enough hits. I don't know. I guess this is why I like the 52 gal so much. I honestly feel like 52 gal has less of these problems. I don't know, but I saw one person who was so freaking good with this weapon. 20 plus kills. Right, they were doing so well. They were good at pushing objective. They were good at everything with it. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. For some reason, I thought it, with precise hit, I thought it was a 2-shot. Now it's a 3-shot, but... yeah, we lost. Okay, whatever. I know I also probably need to get different gear. At least I think I lose 3 points now for doing bad in a match, or is it still 2? Yeah, you lose. So now in A rank I lose 3 points, but I think it cost me like 100 to go into series. Of course, the maps and modes just updated. It pisses me off when you win a match, and then it's only happened once to me, where you win a match and then you get a communication error while in the victory screen. And you don't get the rewards. Same thing happens in Salmon Run. right? When you win, and then you get in the ending screen, you get a community. I've only seen YouTube videos of that one. But yeah, same thing happens there. I'm definitely gonna have to pick up the Flingza roller. Clan Blitz is in series, and tower controls in open. Yeah, because everyone loves the Flingza roller so much this game, so maybe they gave it a huge buff. I don't know. I gotta play more of the story mode, you know? I am very interested in playing the story mode. We just haven't so far. We've done the first 2 islands, and that's it. And I'm still missing stuff on those first 2 islands, I found out on the app you can see your story progress. And yeah, I'm at like 80% on the second island and like 70% on the first. I don't think I missed any levels. I think I'm missing like collectibles and, you know, using, feeding the stuff to little buddy, right? Stuff like that. I don't know. It was something like that. I don't know. I can pull up the app right now, but I'm not going to. Still not using this as much. The squid roll seems cool, but I just never use it. It's never in a convenient place in battle. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, I know we mostly did Salmon Run tonight, but that's what I wanted to do, because, you know, no special event is cool. We will be back of course, we'll be back next week with In Chat, whatever's happening there. But my goal is also to do, more story mode at some point. God, I'm so busy this next fucking week. God, the next 3 weeks. It's fucking stupid. It's so stupid, but I'm not even gonna go into it. But yeah, I want to do more story. God, I've been wanting, because I hear so many good things about it, man. I've heard, because, right, I had problems with the Splatoon 2 story mode. Mostly that it was repetitive. And while this game does have some repetition in it, so far I've been enjoying it. And yeah, but supposedly the story mode, right, it is really good. And so far, what I've played, I've really enjoyed. So I got to do more of it at some point. Definitely not tomorrow, sadly. Tomorrow I've got other things to do. But at some point, I'm going to play more story mode. I also got to play more Table Turf. I found out Table Turf isn't online. I would have figured you would have been able to play Table Turf with your friends. But no, I guess not. I guess there is no online Table Turf. I learned that the other day, and that really surprised me, actually. Whatever. Yeah, we'll be back next, hopefully for more story mode. Definitely for In Chat, you know. I think we are 1 episode away from being this being the longest season of In Chat. Because the first season of In Chat, well, it took place over the span of like 2 years. It only, I want to say, went either 37 or 38 episodes. This is episode 37. So I want to say either next week or the week after, this is the longest season of In Chat. Because season 2 only went like 12 episodes. Season 2 was really short. But season 3 went on for, yeah, like 30-something episodes. But to be fair, it was a monthly show then. Now it's a weekly show. But yeah, I'm about to break that. So, God, if In Chat was a weekly show, that means the first season went on, or a monthly show, I mean. That means the first season went on for like 2 years. Because we had more than 24 episodes. Yeah, oh my God. Because I want to say the final episode of season 1 was in 2020. And the first season started, and I want to say like, I want to say like March 2018. So I want to say it went on a full 2 years. I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about, right? Like, hey, we're about to break most episodes. Yeah, well, we'll get to that when we get to that. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.